with you. Take a slice of the action wherever you go. Visit the new Lambent showroom today.
Hey there, Street Rats, it's Miso Plays, and I'm back from the dead with another mod showcase for you all today. And this video is going to cover all of the features added by my brand new Lambent Street Rat Ship Services mod, which is available on Creations for 500 Creations credits. If you've been wondering why I've been MIA for the last few months, this mod is the reason. It's kind of a beast, and what it adds to the game is some new Neon Street Rat themed ship habs and modules, both furnished and unfurnished, a Neon City expansion with the Lambent showroom, and a black market trading hub similar to the Key. That market has 7 new NPC vendors that you can buy and sell from. Plus, there are some areas that can be cleaned out and customized much like a player home. There's also a new neon themed decor pack, set of custom clothing items, collectible misc items, and lore to be found around the location for anyone wanting to learn more about the Lambent crew and how this new neon neighborhood got started. So yeah, there's a lot to cover, so let's get stuck in. And starting with that Neon City expansion first and the Lambent showroom. And to help you find that new location, all you've got to do is travel to the spaceport here on Neon, and you'll see these crates over there by the bridge, destined for that new showroom. And getting close to those should trigger the activity that will set the location marker that you can follow to get to your new destination. So right now we're going to avoid eye contact there with the Dragon's Alliance lady, and there we go. You can see those like waypoint arrows pointing the way. And those will lead you here, which is the elevator entrance to that showroom. It also has a fast travel marker that you can get to from the spaceport in the future, so you can just fast travel here once you land on the planet. So now let's go on down and see what's inside that showroom. And as you can see, the showroom's pretty big, but it's not all for show, it's also for go. And this area has a few different purposes. Now, one, of course, is NPC interactions. This is where you're going to talk to Celeste, who is Lambent's fixer, so that's who you need to see to join the collective itself. Down in the showroom, we have our ship tech. He's the guy to see about buying those pre-built ships as well as those Lambent modules. And for all of you decorating enthusiasts, some of these areas can also be used as a player home, so you can decorate some of these showroom areas for yourself. And to get started with that, we're going to need to go speak to Celeste. Hi, welcome to Lambent. If you're in the market for ship parts, we sell stylish modules at crate wrap prices. And you can choose any of the dialogue options without screwing up your relationship with Lambent or Celeste. There's some trait and background specific options that you can choose, and she'll be fine with any of them. As long as your credits are green, she's not one to judge. And then once you've completed that greeting dialogue with Celeste, you can buy into the collective itself. And that membership is what grants you access to the new buildable decor items, the perk that allows you to sell those ships for twice the going rate to our ship tech down here, and opens up some of those player home locations in the showroom and market that you can decorate for yourself. So now let's go take a look at that Ikuchi 2 market, which is the black market trading center of this mod. And this place, like I mentioned before, operates a lot like the depot on the Key. We've got a number of different vendors down here with a sizable pool of credits, and they'll buy pretty much everything from you, from contraband, stolen goods, whatever it is you need to sell, they want to buy it. So this is a really good location for anyone out there doing a little bit of crime, but not still currently aligned with those pirates. But they're good for more than just selling those sketchy goods. They have some unique inventories of their own, such as Fabian, if you're looking for ammo and some unique weapons.
Then look no further.
Alongside his regular weapon inventory, he also sells some unique weapons that you might have missed during certain quests. So things like the Tempest here, once the quest associated with this weapon has been completed, if you didn't get it then, it will start becoming available in his inventory, giving you a second chance at missable items. And then over at Glow Up, there's Poppy, and she's our resident clothing designer here at Lambent. I'm here to help you look your best. And she sells all the new clothing items added by this mod. Right now we got 4 different outfits in 2 different colorways, one of which is pretty brightly colored, and then there's like a black and blue version for those of you who aren't quite into that rainbow bright aesthetic. She also sells some clothing items associated with the gangs of Neon, as well as the ultra-rare swimsuit, which is something we can never usually get quite enough of. Another unique vendor that sells missable items is Kit over here at Kitch Bash.
Aye, take a look.
And she's the person you're going to look to get those collectible Lambent items, as well as some of the missable misc items, such as the landmark location books and NASA snow globes. Much like Fabian, those will start appearing in her inventory once the quests associated with their locations have been completed. And then the final unique vendor is Joel, and he's our resident food guy.
You look worn out. Want to try Bolt?
And he sells Bolt, which is a new energy drink added by this mod, and that buffs your movement speed, carry capacity, and O2 recovery. Super helpful for getting all of that loot from the field and into this marketplace. And of course, we got a trade authority front, since these guys like to open up anywhere sketchy deals are being made.
So, what have you found for me today?
Like all the other trade authority dealers, she doesn't have any unique items to sell, but she does sell a little bit of everything and has a fairly generous credit pool, so she can buy a lot of the things you might want to offload. And last but not least is Celeste, who can be unlocked as a contraband dealer, and she'll pay 3 times the going rate for contraband items that you get from vanilla vendors. So that covers the showroom and marketplace. Now it's time to talk about the most important part of this mod, perhaps, the ships. And while you can access all of the habs via the shipbuilder on the outpost landing pad, some items like the bootleg comspike and conduction grid, as well as the pre-built ships, can only be bought from Hatch. He's also going to be the guy you want to sell your ships to, because he will pay twice the going rate for any ships you want to sell after you've joined the Lambent Collective.
I'm sure you can find something you like.
And for pre-built ships, we've got 3 added here. There's the Lambent Scamp, which is our A class, the Instigator, which is the B class, and then the Troublemaker, which is our C class ship. And these are all the habs necessary for a pretty cushy life. However, perhaps you want to start building your own. So let's take a look at those habs from the most important angle, the inside. And we may as well start with the biggest habs first. So we've got 3 new 2x2 habs added by this mod. And this one here is the bar. And this one's kind of like Lambent's alternative to a mess hall, because people on Neon like to party. Over here at the bar, there's some animation markers that make it look like your crew are tending that bar. And the DJ booth over here works. So if you click on that activator there, it turns on the club lights, some fog, and the music. And there's even some activator markers on the dance floor and by that DJ booth that you can use, so your player character can dance the night away with the crew as well as those NPCs. Right now the music only works when you're in space, but you can still groove away planetside if you're digging that environmental music. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Ops Hab. This one's a 2x2 again, and it's basically a combination between the battle stations and your armory. And what we've got is lots of display for your spacesuits, helmets, boost packs, and weapons, as well as some workbenches. This cabinet here is a custom helmet stand that you can use to display either your helmets or the heads of your enemies. The table there off to the left is your armor workbench, and this one over here you see just ahead of us is the weapons workbench, and both of these are functional. And then as we come on down, we got some rather spiffy looking mannequins here with the little door that opens, and here are all of our custom weapon racks. This one's all set dressed to look a little bit more badass than you might see on your regular ships. But as you can see, we've got quite a lot of display to work at, and some custom weapon cases, and those are also buildable. Those are part of that deco pack. Here is the battle stations section. Your crew have animation markers to use all of those consoles, this navigation table, which you can also navigate away from your ship from. So this gets pretty lively when you're in space, because all of those are linked up as crew stations for them to use. And then the last of the 2x2s is this functional cargo hold. Tab actually adds 1,000 mass carry capacity to your ship, and in the middle there we have a bunch of different infinite storage chests that you can use to organize your gear. Then, as you can see, we've got a industrial workbench back there, a little sleeping bed for your crew who's taking care of your goods, and these showers have an activator that makes them work. So we've got some sound effects and visual effects, so your crew can get a little bit cleaned up should they get sweaty when they're hauling all of your cargo. And perhaps when you're hauling cargo, you're going to want to look for some jobs to haul some more. So we've got one of these hacked mission boards, much like my Argus Extractors mod, and this one adds, again, missions from any of the factions that you're already affiliated with, as well as anything that might be popping up local to the star system that you're currently inhabiting. We've got some more storage over there on the right, and there is a trash can, which is one of the many trash toggles that are in all of these habs, and you can use that to clear up all of the trash and the clutter that I added if you're not really into that kind of vibe. And now we're going to move on to the 2x1s, which as always is kind of the largest section. This one here is the all-in-one hab, and this one's got, well, anything you might want if you've got a small ship. So we've got some workbenches there for armor and for weapons. We've got this one bedding station, some ambient music, a little bit of a computer core here on the far end, bathrooms, lounge area. If you're trying to do something really small, kind of like the Scamp, this is a pretty good hab for that. Going from plush digs to kind of sad digs, here's our brig. Obviously sponsored by Neon Security, and this brig has 2 holding cells. And I have a patch up already that gets these working with the Useful Brigs mod. And these cells boast some doors that not only open, they also close as well. So if you're sick and tired of your crew opening up all of your brig doors and then just having them open till the end of time, you can now close them. You can, as far as complaints go, not being able to close those brig doors is maybe a small one, but it's been driving me insane. So it's something I wanted to address with this hab. And now we're going to go back to the plush digs. We're here now in the captain's quarters. This one is all the kind of things a growing captain might need. We've got a trawl dispenser for when you want that fish paste on the go. A private bathroom there sponsored by Terra Brew. Got a cool looking little neon chair, and that one is part of that deco pack we're showing at the end of this video. Got a navigation terminal over here on the wall, some armor displays there for your helmets, a bounty be gone, because if you're out there smuggling, sometimes you're gonna get caught, even if you're normally pretty careful. We got some storage for your captain, more weapons display, and this little tiny guy over here on your desk is an action figure that you can use to display your favorite spacesuits, and everything looks cute when it's tiny, so that's a nice way of displaying those spacesuits without taking up too much room. That's also in the deco pack, by the way. And then through this door is our dining area. We got these swanky looking little fridges over there, dining table, and here is a tea dispenser. The tea dispenser will dispense the kind of teas that you can make, like alien tea, for example, Big Splash, things like that. And we've got a working galley. So you've got all your living needs met up here in your own captain's quarters. This hab is a new one added in patch 1.2, and this is the control center. And this is a smaller alternative to the ops center, as it adds another 4 crew slots without having that big footprint. Because as always, I do listen to feedback, so we'll be updating this mod with new habs as new needs and wants arise. Now on down here is our infirmary. Again, this one does not currently work with usable infirmaries. I've actually been trying to get a dedicated doctor working on here, but I haven't been able to do it in a way that's been consistent yet. But as you can see, we've got all the furniture you might need to tend to the ailments of your crew. Some of it's pretty high-tech as it's from Neon, so we have the best technology, even if it's still a little bit grimy. And this is the first of our living quarters. Now there's 2 versions of this one. This one is the sleep crate version, because what is more classically Neon than the sleep crate? And these beds do in fact function, although because of the limitations with the animation markers, I don't know that the NPCs can actually use them, so it's more for immersion and style than it is for go, even though it does count towards your passenger and crew slats. So we've got another bathroom back there with a hypnotic curtain, and then through here, same basic layout, but this is the bunks version. Now this one does work the same as all of your other living habs, because these are the regular bunks that you see in most of your ships, but they've been divided up for a little bit more privacy for your crew with those curtains. And yeah, I mean, it's maybe a little bit more cozy than those sleep crates, but is it as iconically Neon? I don't know, but this one is, and this is our science hab. It's got a custom research station back there with all those neon lights, and this sketchy looking chem lab over here is so you can make all those things that you might be trying to smuggle around the settled systems. And both that research station and that chem lab are part of the deco pack that I'll be covering in a minute. Next up, still keeping with the utilities, this is the workshop hab, and it has all of the workbenches you might need on your ship. Over there is the industrial workbench, an armor workbench, and then as we turn around, we've got another one of the research stations and a weapons bench, so you can do all of your maintenance, even some big guns maintenance over here. Since we've got the ship, sometimes things need repairing, so that's kind of a tableau for that. And we've got another one of those sketchy looking chem workstations there too. And now it's time to get teensy-weensy and take a look at those one-by-one habs. Starting off with the Constellation crew quarters. I've got individual living quarters for all of your Constellation crew members. And this one here is for Sam and Chorus. For this one, I wanted to decorate it with something of an Aquila City vibe, because it had something that feels like home. And the animation markers in this hab are all marked to be child usable, because a lot of the animation markers in the game are not. And that's why Cora kind of ends up drifting around your ship. But here she got some markers so she can sit down and read and check out her books, etc. And then next up, we got Sarah. This one, more of a UC theme to kind of a nod for her UC military background. But I also wanted to kind of make it like the Lodge, because really, you know, she's the head of Constellation. The Lodge is very her. So for this hab, I kind of wanted to try and imagine what would the Lodge look like if it was in a sleep crate. And that's kind of how I think that would go down. Getting a little bit darker, we've got Barrett, and now Barrett doesn't really have his own room in the Lodge, so for him I went with kind of an explorer NASA type theme. And he has a really nice kitchen because Barrett likes to cook, so I wanted to make sure that his lodgings had some pretty gourmet equipment so he can make those hoagies that he keeps telling me he's going to be making when I dismiss him as a companion. Here, Andrasia, of course, something a little bit darker and more House Varun. And all of these can be, you can turn off the crew-specific decor and turn it into like basically generic faction hab. So if you're a Varun captain, you can get rid of the personal items for Andrasia and use this hab as a general kind of Varun habitat. And then the last one is, well, it's a general one. This is the living quarters, just small, but you can turn it on to dedicate it to the captain. And when you turn it into a captain's quarters, other crew members can no longer use that bed. So if you're using this as your captain's quarters, you don't have to worry about coming in to rest up after a hard day's plundering, and when you discover you got some random NPC sleeping in your bed. Very annoying. So yeah, those are the one-by-one living quarters. And after that, it's going to get a little bit more utilitarian, such as the shielded cargo. Now, the shielded cargo hold hab once again adds actual carry capacity to your ship. So when you add this particular hab to your ship, you get an extra 450 mass of shielded storage added to your carry capacity. It's got an infinite storage container there to keep some of your goods. And as you can see, we've got like lots of different crates for sketchy things, but not Aurora, that you might be carrying on your ship. So here you can do your smuggling in style. A little bit small and still fancy. This is the companionway. This one has a bunch of rather pretty lights, reflective surfaces, and some servers. So, you know, if you've got a high-tech ship, this is going to be the one-by-one you might want to use the most of. If, however, you're going more for that grimy denizen of neon, then perhaps the walkway hab is more your speed. This one's a little bit narrower, and again, it's got one of these trash toggles, so you can clean it up a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know, it's still utilitarian. It's not going to get super swanky. And then similar to these walkway habs are these corridor habs. These have got those narrow walls, as you can see, but they're kind of layered. So if you've got some ladders, some of these smaller walls are going to widen out, and the main corridor has some pipes, which is a very utilitarian one, whereas the executive corridor has more of those servers like we saw earlier in that companionway. So you've got two different vibes of corridor, and these are really good for attaching those port and starboard living quarters too. Ships, of course, they don't just need habs, they also need some cockpits and bridges, and that's what we've got here. Now, this is the Epside cockpit. It's based on the Hope Tech Armstrong cockpit. It's got its own custom colorways for the interior static. Got lots of junk which can be cleaned up using the trash toggle like all the other habs, so you can either have it grimy and Epside-y or, you know, flashy and neon. For something bigger, of course, we've got the core bridge. This one's based on the Hope Tech Overseers. And again, it's got another custom interior static and lots of junk that can be cleaned up using this trash toggle. We've got some animation markers on those seats and also on these wall consoles, so your crew can actually use those stations whilst you're flying around. And yeah, again, you know, it can be neon and fancy or a little bit grimy. The choice is yours. And then another utility part that might not always get hit is the landing bay. Now, the landing bay, I've got that neon decor once again. We've got some soggy puddles because neon is always rainy, some graffiti, and that can be cleaned up using that trash toggle, because every single hab does have a trash toggle, so all of the trash and grime I've added, you can remove if you don't like it. There's also a set of 3 different portholes that you can find in the structures section, and all of these have some rather pretty looking neon lights in the windows, and the ones that go on the side of your habs have these rather nifty little shutters there that go up and down, so you can block out some of the light if you add these to, say, a sleeping quarters or your captain's quarters and you're looking for a good night's sleep. And lastly, when it comes to the ship modules, since Lambent is one of those one-stop shops for criminals in the skies, our ship tech also carries some of those black market modules, such as the scan jammers, and a bootleg version of the ComSpike and the conduction grid. So if again you have sided against the pirates, you don't really have to miss out on that life of crime. So now I'm going to move on to a section for all you builders out there, and I'm going to take a quick look at some of the empty habs. I mean, they're usually pretty self-explanatory, but I tried to keep the layouts pretty interesting, so I think that these empty habs should make some pretty unique canvases for all you builders out there if you're looking for some new interiors to start decorating. Because I do have like a lot of different alcoves built into a lot of these habs, which can be quite fun, especially that one there, which is of course the empty cargo hold. But then things again like this empty all-in-one, because it's got some expanded walls, as you can see, that are a little bit wider than the usual Hope Tech walls. You know, we've got some of those finishes to play with. Now, of course, if you're going to be decorating, well, you need something to decorate with, and that is where this Decor building pack comes from. Now, there's a lot of different furniture that's been added to this Decor pack, and here's just some of the items that you can use to build on your ships and your outposts, as well as your player homes. We've got a working trawl dispenser over there. We've got these lockers that have infinite storage inside them, and these little boom boxes here have music toggles, so you can add a bit of sound and music to your different locations. Got buildable versions of those custom colored weapon displays, some working TVs, glowing posters. We've even got some buildable versions of the neon pillars that you can either attach to your wall or use on the ground, and those have got the space adaptive lighting, so they're bright in space. Yep, got some little buildable versions of those tiny action figure armor displays, as well as some of the neon lit up ones. Barrel full of wilbies, neon signs at the size for your ships, and those have got little ports behind them, so it lifts them up past some of those structural details on the walls that can sometimes eat your posters and wall decor. There's a selection of planters with some glowing plants, because, you know, this is neon themed, and that can help bring a little bit of luxury to, you know, your habs should you want it. Here is a custom navigation table, a bit smaller so it's easier to fit into the habs. We got some glowing custom weapon racks. Here's a buildable version of these workbenches, such as that chem bench, the armor bench. All of those are represented in this decor pack as well. And these are just some of the items added. There's some larger pieces too, which are good for outposts and player homes, such as gigantic billboards, as well as some larger floor decor like that gigantic planter and the vandalized Benjamin Bayou statue. So this deco pack is quite good for your outposts as well as for those ships. Speaking of ships, here is one search hab. This is one of those companionway pieces that has a little bit of extra space made for it because there is a porthole over here at the side, which is actually a custom one added by this mod. And I've decorated it up with some of the furniture from that deco pack, so you can see how you can create some custom habs using those furniture pieces, as well as some of the habs, both empty and even furnished, that you get in this mod. And for those of you out there that like building as much as I do, we also have some player home areas inside the Lambent showroom itself. And the player home regions can be left fully decorated like this office is right now, but you can add your own touches if you want to, or if you want to go a little bit further, you can actually clear them out completely and decorate from scratch. We can use these control panels over on the wall. Now clicking the office or showroom buttons will clear out both the office and the showroom. Now here is that office space completely cleared out, which as you can see is a decent but not overwhelming amount of space to decorate. And the showroom I wanted to make buildable too, because I figured a lot of people like to play shipping magnets. So if you're really into decorating the insides of your ships or playing the role of a ship manufacturer, then you can clear out this entire showroom space, including those habs, to decorate it with some of the designs of your own to fit that kind of role play. If decorating underground isn't enough for you, you can also leave your own mark on the city of Neon itself by coming on through here to the Lambent observation deck. Now you can use this platform just to lean on the railings with a custom animation marker and check out the ships you've just built, or see some of the ships coming and going to the spaceport. Or if you want to get a little bit crazy, you can use that decoration panel back there again to clear the space out and decorate it for yourself. And one thing I was keenly aware of when I was making this mod was not everybody is as gung-ho for trash as I am. So in every single location and every single hab, I've added these trash toggles. All I gotta do is click on any glowing trash cans, and you can turn off the trash in all of those locations so you can have it nice and clean if that's your jam. And then finally, to keep things feeling a bit more alive and more like an expansion of the city itself, I added a few little things to discover and little bits of lore that adds to the story of the faction and gives this place a purpose and background that makes it feel like more than just a mod add-on and a part of the city itself. So as you can imagine, this mod took a long time to put together, and actually so did this video because there's so many things that I had to cover. So if you've made it this far to the end, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for checking out this mod. It was a real labor of love, so I hope you have as much fun playing it as I did making it. And for anyone out there who's been missing my videos as much as I've missed making them, I do have quite a few more on the way. There's some more mod showcases, including one for a rather large update to the Argos Extractors mod. And I got some new outpost builds that I've been working on that I'm really excited to show you all. And so, if you found anything in this video even remotely useful or entertaining, please do drop me a like and subscribe, and I will be back again with more building tips, ships, mods, and outpost tours. So, till next time, bye!